is advised.
And a very good morning to you all, and welcome to your safari adventure live from the middle of the African bush. This is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live. And a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to the Sunrise Safari. And may I just start by saying we do apologize for the late start. Somehow the little bit of rain and cloud that we had last night brought in the gremlins. But thank you for sticking with us, and thank you for having patience. We are back up and running. My name is Jamie. This morning I have Gert on camera with me, and we are coming to you live from a place called Djuma Private Game Reserve, which is in the Greater Kruger National Park area of South Africa. Now, not only are we live, but we're also interactive, which means that if you have any questions about the animals that you're seeing, or perhaps the African bush in general, you can send those through to #SafariLive on Twitter, or you can email through to questions@WildEarthTV. And without any further ado, how well let us try and get you a view of some stripy horses. And it's actually quite a chilly start to this morning. Donkeys in pajamas. It is depending upon who you are. This morning I actually had quite an exciting start, or almost exciting start. Stopped on quarantine clearings, which is the big open area outside our camp, and there was an Impala ewe all on her own, looking discomforted, to say the least. And of course all of our ewes are heavily pregnant at the moment. I thought perhaps maybe there was a chance we were going to have a live birth. There is still a chance we're going to get a live birth on one of these safaris any morning now, but she wasn't giving birth. She was just a little bit constipated. I thought she was all on her own. Perhaps she was going to go and join, but she did just go and join the rest of the herd once she was a little bit relieved. So there we go. I had a false alarm this morning. We did sit with her for a good few minutes, waiting to see what would play out. But she's absolutely fine and definitely not giving birth. And of course we've had all manner of live births on these safaris, from James's zebra birth, which I've never seen, and I must say looked like the most amazing sighting. I've never seen a zebra giving birth. To wildebeest, to impala. And now is the time for live impala births. So every single impala herd that we see this morning, because this of course is the perfect time of day, every single impala herd that we see, we're going to be stopping at and watching just to see whether there are any signs of new babies and whether there are any signs of females moving off on their own. And then we're also going to be looking for lions, leopards, elephants, and anything else in between. So all in all, I think it's going to be a lovely morning. The air smells crisp and clean, the birds are chirping away, and it is going to be a beautiful morning. I think we might even have a little bit of sun. Look at that. Clouds are breaking apart, and it looks as though the great deluge of 2016, the end of 2016, has ended. All those 3 mils that we had, I think that epitomizes the great deluge of 2016, unfortunately. But it's not just myself out there. Without any further ado, let's go over to Brent so that he can say good morning.
Welcome. My name is Brent. I have Jean-Dre on camera, and we're on the hunt for the lions. I heard them roaring just as we got up this morning. It sounded like they might be somewhere in this area, but they only roared once, and so far silence, and no tracks just yet. So we're going to slowly make our way back towards where they were last night, and hopefully we have some lion luck. Remember, this is 100% live. You're able to ask us questions, #SafariLive, or questions@WildEarthTV. And yes, the great deluge of 2016 was more of a puddle. You got him there, Jean-Dre? Bird. Where's this to? There. Oh, lions are roaring, but let's have a look at that. Behind us. Well, anyway, let me see if I can find this grey-headed bushshrike. There he is. Top right corner. Up, right, other right. There you go, that orange thing in the middle there. Oh no, it's an orange-breasted. No, it is a grey-headed bushshrike. There he is. Beautiful bird. Oh, off he pops. Also nicknamed the Spookfall. Where do those lines sound like? Gallagher's shortcut. Mysterious flying lines to get there. Sounded like over there, so that's where we're going to go. Now, as I said, that call I heard, or on the pre-show, that call I heard wasn't a proper roar. It sounded more like a contact call. So there might be still some lions moving through to where those ones are roaring. So let's head there. But nice way to start with a grey-headed bushshrike. Now, of course, yesterday was Big Birding Day. We managed to get over 60 species between the different feeds over the day, and a really great morning with 36 species coming off Rusty alone. And I will keep looking for the small obscure birds for those of you with bird lists to try keep that bird list ticking. There's a couple of migrants that we haven't seen yet on camera. The European roller, the European golden oriole, and what else? Oh, there's a pygmy kingfisher. So there's a couple still to look out of first, and of course we're always checking for the first baby wildebeest or the first baby warthogs of the season as well. I'm just going to see if Rexon is out, so if I can drive past his lodge. Rexon or Taxon coming. Morning, Rexy. Did you get that in Gala audio? No, there's other audio. Gallagher shortcut for tele-access. I'm on Mfumo heading that way. Can I go past your Marty? Thanks very much. Yeah. So there was some audio, I don't know, sounded between Twin Dams and Vertella Dam, and there's other audio to the west of your car. Kobe, thanks very much. I'm going to do Gallagher shortcuts and maybe then Impala Road to come give you a hand. Okay, so there's audio all over the place. So we've heard the one there, some over here. Rexon's got other audio that sounds like it's down towards Weaver's Nest. I should see where Jamie is. She might be quite close to there. Jamie. And did you get that update? I affirm Rex has got audio. It sounds like Weaver's Nest, Gary May in that area as well. So Jamie was heading down to the south and then to the east. So she is very close to that area. So it could be one of the Birminghams calling there. This sounded like more than one lion calling close to us here. So this could be the Pride. Still no sign of any tracks yet, but tracks after the rain can be quite difficult to spot due to the earth being compacted and hardened, and it becomes very difficult to see tracks. But fortunately the lions have been quite vocal this morning, which makes tracks a little bit less necessary. Yeah, while we speed off to where we think we heard those lions, let's go see if Jamie's got other lions down in the south.
As you heard from Brent, there seems to be several different groups of lions, including some not too far away from me. But, as you also heard from Brent, as he said, tracking on a morning like this morning can be quite tricky. It's easy to find the lions because they're calling, or hopefully they keep calling. I shouldn't actually say that. Never say something's going to be easy out here, because it never is if you do that. But I just want to not race off to the lions is essentially where I'm going, just in case the Queen of Djuma has actually crossed somewhere along here. And if I go speeding along, there's no way I'm going to see her tracks. And actually, if she's walked on this patch of road, there's no way I'm going to see her tracks anyway, just because the ground is so solid at the moment. But we're going to check all of her regular crossing points, just to see whether or not she's come through on the softer sand along here. And once we've checked it, then we'll start heading east. We'll start heading in the direction of those lions, and also, of course, maybe towards Cheetah Plains. I'm still waiting to see what the weather's going to do to us. I don't fancy another journey racing back with the rain pelting us. What's crossed here? Something's with paws has crossed here, but I suspect not leopard paws. No, not leopard paws at all. Hyena paws. Can sort of see what I mean. I don't know, Chad, can you get that one over there? You should just be able to. There we go. See what I mean? The tracks, even in the softest, thickest sand, are basically just splodges in the ground. And if you move any further along away from that thick sand, there you go, that's our hyena track over there. Whoops, sorry, I'm trying to show you. There's the claws. So these are the toes, that's the back of the foot, and the track's going that way. So across the road and into Little Gowrie. So this is, for our new viewers, this is our southern boundary. So the southernmost place where we can go on Djuma, anywhere straight ahead of me, is off limits. We are not allowed there. Other vehicles are, but they're not allowed on Djuma, and vice versa. So it just depends upon... Different lodges can go to different places. The animals, however, have no fences and have no boundaries, except for their own territorial boundaries, of course. And one of the things that this boundary does is it sort of splits, at the moment, it splits the Queen of Djuma's territory in two. She spends a lot of time there and a lot of time here. And hopefully she's come... What I'm looking for is neat little leopard tracks going that way. No. Excuse me. Something in the air at the moment. It's worse than springtime. Summertime. Must be with all the rain, all of the flowers coming out. The trees are looking particularly beautiful. Everything's looking green. And Jamie's sneezing a lot. And it's not just me. There's quite a few of us who are a little bit allergy stricken this morning. Or the last few weeks. Cat seems fine though. There's been no sneezing coming from the back of the vehicle. Not yet. Okay. Heading towards the dark grey clouds. Good morning to Michael. Speaking of our vocal lions this morning, and I'm sorry, Michael, I'm going to be not ignoring you. I'm just checking over my shoulder to check for tracks. Michael wants to know, why is it we never see the lionesses roaring? We see the Birmingham... Sorry. A bird that we don't often get to see is calling, and I know Brent was trying to get it on camera yesterday. It's called... Oh, wait, hold on. We might get the display. Sorry, Michael. Distracted by the bird life of the area. Where are you, little bird? Sorry, this is a bird we never really get to see. I know Brent tried to get it. I've gone past it. Oh, they're sneaky things. Sorry, now the game drive Rex is trying to call me. Right, sorry, where was I? Michael, speaking of the lions, the The lionesses do roar, and we have seen them roar in the past. Often it is when they're with the males, it's often triggered by the males calling themselves. So it's often as a result... Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to turn this down slightly. So it's often as a result of being triggered by the male lions. They don't call as often, necessarily. Oh, cuckoo, you horrible creature. I was trying to show you a cuckoo. It flew off. Live safaris with birds. Yes, but the lionesses do roar. We have had them roaring. The best part of when the lionesses roar is when the cubs start to roar as well. We had this amazing experience, Dave and myself. The very first evening that we were testing the infrared, we were sitting with the Nkuhuma Pride all around us, and we couldn't see them with our eyes. Couldn't see a thing. We knew that we could hear them. Every now and again, you just hear the soft as the lioness would walk past the vehicle, and it was a very humbling experience. It gave me the chills a little bit, to be honest. And just because usually I'm able to use my spotlight. I've sat in the dark with lions before, but you can usually just flick your light on and check where they are. But we sat with just the infrared, and the males started calling, the females started calling, and there was this massive cacophony around us. And then all of a sudden, the cubs started going as well. And they were going... Which is the cutest baby roar in the world. And that was, in terms of impressions, I have to say that was pretty accurate. That was exactly what they sounded like. It was adorable. Do you want to know something funny, Kat? Where we drove this morning, the lions just walked right on top of our tracks. There is a lion exactly where we were about 10 minutes ago. Oh well, the joys of live safaris. He must be moving very quickly. He must have just walked out and over our tracks. Right, in that case, I shall head across in that direction for now. We'll go and see if we can't catch up with him. I don't want to go too quickly though, just in case I miss something vital here. Oh dear. Lions. It just goes to show that it is live. Yes, I hear you. It's Hyena. Footprints in the sand. Yep, I see him coming out here. Hyenas, why are you never coming back in? So sad. We hardly ever get to see our spotties anymore. Our spotted hyenas. You see their tracks every morning, but it's as though they've abandoned us. Okay, well, we're just going to stop here for one moment so we can look at the large bird sitting in the top of the tree. We'll see exactly. Oh. Where's that roaring? Oh. Okay, nope, sorry, we gotta go. Rexon, I was so confused. There were just roars in my ear, and I was going, why is Rebecca playing me a lion roar? Why now? It's not Rebecca, it's Rexon. He's holding his game drive mic next to the roaring lion. Sorry, that's why we're racing off. I didn't even get a chance to see what bird that was. That was such a disconcerting experience. I'm on my way, Rex, just north of Philemon's Dip. Okay, right, as I race through, let's go across to Brent, who has found one of those mystical creatures of which I just spoke.
We just had a brief visual of a hyena running across the road. Just see if we can catch a glimpse. There it is. Now I'm wondering whether it's running from that dead hippo. There it is. Now, there's lion audio all over the place this morning, and just looking at that hyena's behavior, it's looking back to where that dead hippo is. I wonder if they might have lost that hippo to lions, or got beaten up by another hyena. Marching as only a hyena can. You can see that loping stride eats up the meters quite quickly. I can't hear any growling or cackling, but there's definitely something making that hyena a bit nervous, looking back behind it. Let's go have a look what's happening at that dead hippo we found yesterday. So there's one hyena. That's 2 days in a row I've seen a hyena, which is, it's been a while since that's happened. Check carefully through here. Now I was hoping the hyenas might come down to this carcass, but who knows, it could be the Nkuhumas have moved on to that hippo. There could be a Birmingham, there could be lions we've never seen before. That's the wonderful thing about being live in the African bush. We don't actually know what we're going to see every time we jump in the vehicle. Good morning, Trip. Trip would like to know, are there brown hyenas in the reserve? There's a possibility of brown hyenas, Trip. I'm quite sure in Kruger and maybe in southern Manyeleti, there has been a brown hyena seen once on Djuma about 9 years ago. So there is a possibility. Now, with all the man-made water holes, it'll keep the spotted population of hyenas high, which means the browns generally suffer quite extensively. And for example, the Kruger have started shutting down all its man-made water holes. They were all put in the 60s and 70s, and obviously we've got a better understanding of the ecosystems now. And what happened, and by putting in all those man-made water holes, the Kruger effectively wiped out its own population of brown hyenas by enabling the spotted hyenas that are water dependent to be completely based in an area that they might have seasonally used beforehand, and that area would have been utilized by brown hyena. So it is quite interesting, and hopefully their populations do come back. But in the Sabi Sands, where there's a lot of man-made water holes, there's always a chance that a lost brown hyena might wander through, but to see them regularly would be very unusual. Not far from here though, where my parents live, we've got both spotted and brown hyena, and I've actually found about 3 different brown hyena dens there. That's only about 60 kilometers as the crow flies. Ah, look! Lots of hyenas! Morning, Anthony. Anthony would like to know, have I ever seen an albino hyena? Never. So how many we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at least. Oh, listen. I can hear the male lion roaring that Jamie's racing to. I think there could even be more than 6. Yeah, let's start again. Let's go from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's another one out of shot. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, and I think there's one more. 7. Plus the one we saw disappearing. 8. Awesome. So nice to see hyenas. I'm pretty sure this is the Djuma clan. They have been denning in the Manyeleti. The Manyeleti boundary is only 100 or 200 meters from where we are at the moment, or from where they are. And they're a good 100 meters from us. Oh, let's go to the left, please. And there we go. Look, there's a Cape vulture. Not a white-backed vulture. And see that much paler. It's actually bigger than the white-backed vultures. The hyenas are harassing the Cape vulture. And there was a hyena carrying something, a piece of hippo by the looks of things. It lost its piece of hippo already, or swallowed it. There we go. You see the white-backed vultures, much darker in coloration. Now this is almost an ideal situation for the hyenas. Lots of nice meat, and there's some mud to cool down in Sydney's waterhole right next door. Out of here, vulture. Unfortunately, it is quite far away. It's inside Buffel's Hook, but at least there's a nice open patch that we can get a decent view. When was the last time you saw this many hyenas, Jandre? Months.
Yeah, maybe August.
August, there we go. Get out of here, vulture. Big tummies. Now, the interesting thing about this carcass being so close to the Manuleti is whether it'll pull some unknown lions from the north. We have seen the Salati male lions around here, but I think over the course of the next few days, they're going to build into a mass of vultures in this area. That carcass is right out in the open. And if the hyenas start squabbling, who knows, maybe it might bring in the Birmingham boys as well. And speaking of male lions, it seems like Jamie has arrived with the Birmingham boy who we've heard roaring.
And just look at this, we have finally managed to get here, and it is Mfumo and Amber Eyes, and I'm just going to be quiet for a moment because Amber Eyes is contact calling, and I'm hoping she's going to do it again for us. Come on, girl. And it was a good chance, or there is a good chance, that Michael, we're going to get the answer to your question in sort of the flesh, so to speak, because you wanted to know why it is we never see the females roar. The two of them were roaring their heads off while I was on my way here, making such a noise. I'm just waiting to see whether or not they start doing it again. Obviously, yesterday, and there was good evidence that Amber Eyes was coming into estrus with the male blocking her constantly. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember now. But it seems as though... There we go. Cool. There we go. Male and female calling together, and it gives you a nice idea of the difference between a male and a female roar, and there's actually very little of a difference. Her call's slightly shorter and perhaps not quite as bassy, But otherwise, the two of them are actually relatively hard to distinguish, especially at a distance. The male lions will just travel that little bit further because they're bigger and therefore it is deeper. And those amazing sounds are made by what's known as the suspensorium in the animal's voice box or their larynx. That essentially, in most of us, like human beings, it's relatively calcified. If you put your hand on your neck, your voice box, your larynx is, you can feel a relatively solid hyoid bone of your trachea, and your voice box is solid. In lions, those voice boxes are relatively loose and floppy, which allows them to massively expand and create those incredible sounds. Isn't that just goosebump stuff? There is nothing like the sounds of lions roaring first thing in the morning. The sun just starting to peek out. You can see they're starting to go that golden color, and we're treated to the best dawn chorus in the world. And for those of you that had to wake up to sounds of the city this morning, sounds of sirens and traffic, I hope this is a sound that transports you right to the middle of Africa. There is nothing like it. And we're so lucky to have, I actually like to dedicate that female's roar to Michael, because that was such an appropriately timed question. Well done, Michael. Heads up, seen something? What's there, boy? He's seen or he's heard something. Could be impala moving off in the bushes. Such a beautiful morning. Now, I have made Gert's life a little bit difficult because I'm directly facing one of the other safari vehicles. So he won't be able to come back onto my face just because we can't actually show the faces of the guests in any great detail. Well, you can imagine, you wouldn't want to be on a safari where all of a sudden the camera was on you. Morning, guys. Thanks, Rex.
I want to check your...
Okay, you're going to go see what's up, what they're looking at. Cheers, guys. Such an awesome sound. Love that sound. And I'm hoping it's not going to be the last of it. It's a nice cool morning, so there's a good chance that they're going to start to call again. They might even start mating at some point in the not too distant future. Let me duck out of your way. The amber-eyed female, probably the most distinctive of the Nkuhuma pride. For those of you that are perhaps new to these live safaris, she's part of a pride known as the Nkuhuma pride, a very special pride of lions that we get to see. And she is accompanied by one of 4 dominant males in this area known as Mfumo, the authority. And he certainly was very authoritative when he started calling. Now, Dale, a very good morning to you and welcome to the Sunrise Safari. Dale, you want to know about the names of the Birmingham boys because you've only been watching for 8 days. Well, it's lovely to have you on board, Dale, and I look forward to answering many of your questions and your comments in the future. You wanted to know about the names of the Birmingham boys and what they are. Dale, we've, at Wild Earth and at Safari Live, in order to connect people to these incredible animals, we have actually given them certain names. The first of which is Nsugu. He is the oldest, and his name means gold. Now, Nsugu we hardly ever get to see. He's the oldest of the Birmingham boys, and he's also known as Birmingham number 1 or Blondie, depending on where you're reading the things. Nena is the second. Hold on, she's gonna yawn. Aww. Don't. Sorry, Dale, I'll be with you in a second. Our stations, these Ngala, are now mobile straight west into the block. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Okay, let's stay with them. Sorry, Dale. Nena, the second of the Birmingham boys. His name means warrior. They're going west into the block, sort of towards that Shkova between Philemon's and that Rebecca's Road. The third Birmingham boy is known as Tinyo because he has a massively split lip. That shows his canine tooth. His top lip is split. It has healed up nicely, but at one stage we could see straight through his lip even when his mouth was closed, and we could see his tooth, and we don't know where he got that injury from, but as with all male lions, they come with injuries. And then this gentleman here, whose name is Mfumo, which means the authority, because he is one of the largest of the Birmingham boys. I think he's the largest. He's definitely a very dominant member of this coalition. So he has been nicknamed the Mfumo. There's something running. Oh, it's Impala. Hold on a second. We're going to get a good view. They're going to keep walking. I'm going to try and stick with them. And I do have to just pull over to let Tax come through ahead of me, just because he hasn't had a chance to see them, and it's going to go into a very thick area. He's showing signs of dominance, stopping to rub his cheek upon a guarri bush and then scent mark using his urine spray before he follows on behind the amber-eyed female, not letting her get out of his sight at all. Now, male courting a female that's coming into estrus is a very, very protective force. He basically doesn't let her go anywhere without his express supervision and permission, sometimes even denying her food when they are next to a carcass, and he gets very aggressive even when it comes... Sorry, there's other lions roaring now. She's trying to get to the rest of the pride, and he's just going to keep blocking her. They can even be aggressive towards their own cubs at times. If the cubs are going near their females. Sorry, hold on everybody. I need to do some chattering on the Game Drive channel to the other guides so that we can communicate what's happening here and coordinate our search and sort of suspicions as to what these lions are going to do next. So while we do that, let's go back over to Brent.
So we left those hyenas. We could hear other lions roaring to the east of us, and it sounds like Mfumo and Amber Eyes are changing their direction, or Amber Eyes is at least. So I think we're going to try find the rest of the pride. Let's see if we can find any tracks. Now hopefully with that hippo being so close here, the hyenas decide to move back to some of their normal dens which are around here. So I think give them a day or two and we should start checking those dens again. Fingers crossed. Okay. Now, the Great Deluge of 2016 was indeed a deluge, but just not here. A lot of that rain fell to the north of us. If you look at the satellite maps, it's still raining quite heavily, I would say, on the Mozambique, South Africa, Zimbabwe border around the Limpopo River Valley, and further north into Zimbabwe and Mozambique. And as you can see, the clouds are now starting to break up as the sun gets higher in the sky. So I think by the end of the day, we're going to have some nice, lovely sunshine. But I'm just going to stop here because it's quite pretty in this early morning light. as we look down our northern boundary to some sort of misty, ominous, not really ominous looking, it's actually looking quite pleasant. I'm actually going to take a photograph of that, it looks so nice. There we go, isn't that pretty? It is absolutely gorgeous. Morning, Jonathan. Jonathan's wondering, what do water-dependent animals lack in comparison to non-water dependent animals? Well, I wouldn't say they lack anything, they just have different techniques. From the antelope species, the only non-water dependent antelope we get here is the steenbok, and that's because they're quite small. They're able to get most of their moisture from dew on the leaves, or they dig up tubers. Now impala and kudu and things like that don't dig up tubers, they will walk towards water sources. Now when it comes to the predators, a lot of the predators are not water dependent, but in an area like this where we have a lot of water, they will take advantage of that. So I'm just trying to see if it carried on flying. It was a cuckoo. Where did you land? It looked like either a Levalance or Jacobin cuckoo. But there he is. Oh no, it's not. Oh, well, that's not what we saw originally, but there's a hornbill there. The cuckoo's obviously kept flying through. There's a yellow-billed hornbill hopping around in that marula tree, probably looking for the same things the cuckoos are, which is caterpillars. Hoppity hop hop hop. Now what are you running from, bird? There's a... I couldn't see what it was, but a bird came hurtling out of the bush. Could be from another bird. Look, quite a big ground bird, so let's go have a look. Oh, this is just getting prettier and prettier as the sun breaks up the clouds. The bird's got a fright from a duiker, which is also running at high speed, so false alarm. Now just over the next ridge is where I'm thinking the lions were calling, the ones I heard. There's lots of bird calls in this beautiful early morning. The sun's getting quite bright already. Morning, Liz. Liz is wondering if we've ever focused a birding expedition only on LBJs. For those of you who don't know what LBJs are, they're called little brown jobs. So cisticulars, larks, pipits, flycatchers and the like. Many times, Liz, I do like a good LBJ. Jean-Ray is shaking his head in fear in case we decide to LBJ this morning. Well, Liz, you've given me an idea. So for those of you, let's have a vote. Should we focus on the LBJs this morning, the little brown jobs, the hard to identify birds? Let's have a vote. See how many people want to focus on the little brown jobs. And we're going to put a poll up on Twitter. So let's see if you want to look at LBJs, or we'll just keep doing a normal drive. So let us know on the hashtag Safari Live. There is going to be a poll up on Twitter where you can vote. Well, till we know, I'm going to keep looking for lions. Now, hi Joanne. Joanne is asking about one of the most beautiful birds we get in South Africa, and it is even so aptly named. It is called a gorgeous bush shrike. And Joanne is wondering, do we get it here, or is it just rare? Theoretically, it's possible that we get gorgeous bush shrike here, but this isn't really ideal habitat for them. They prefer slightly wetter areas with permanent water, riverine forests. So there's always a possibility one might meander in, especially if we get lots of rain, but normally I would say it's better to have a look down south. So while we continue on our endeavors towards the east, let's go back to Jamie and those lions.
While Brent continues on his way to the east, our lions are going in exactly the opposite direction, to the west. And they've just stumbled upon a herd of impala that are frantically alarm calling at them. Hold on a moment, let's get closer. They were nice and out in the open, but the Amber Eyes is very much on a mission this morning. And he's just following along until she decides to mate with him. Amber Eyes was actually watching the impala intently. She really wanted breakfast, but unfortunately with the male in tow, he's making her life very, very difficult. Constantly watching her, constantly blocking her movement. When she tries to move quickly, he bolts after her aggressively. There's nothing she can do about obtaining breakfast for the both of them. She's just going to have to, wait until this is all over and until perhaps the rest of the pride catches another meal for them. It's not impossible for mating cats to get food, to hunt, but often they are so distracted that they don't necessarily bother. I'm trying to think how we're going to cross this drainage line. It's going to be a tricky one. I'm going to stay with the lions so that Taxon can cross. Look at the impala. Running after, just like they did with the with the leopards the other day. Running after them to make sure they can still see them. Because they don't want the lions to... Oh! I think Amber Eyes ran at them. Maybe even the male protectively ran at them. Yep, it was Amber Eyes. She just wants breakfast. Now the impala work on the very valid assumption that they are faster than a lion. As long as they have enough distance between them and the lion itself, they will be okay. So rather watch and see where the lion is, so that you can make sure that she's not hunting you. Which all makes complete sense if you're an impala. It's not the lion you see that gets you. That sort of logic. Although Amber Eyes, I think, just had a jolly good try. Sorry, girl. They all know you're there. And your male friend is... Look at that. Not often you see lionesses spraying back into bushes, into guarri bushes. They do it. But it just goes to show what sort of a hormonally heavy moment this is between the male and the female. The fact that she is scent marking, which we don't often see the lionesses do, but she's scent marking just like a male. Lifting her tail up and spraying backwards into the trees. There they go. And Julia, you've heard that there are reports that Amber Eyes is 6 years old and has never had cubs. And is this true? I believe it is. I believe that to be the case. Obviously, because I have only been working here for a year, I have to go off the reports of others. But that is what I have heard. That's the information we've been given. So yes, it is. It seems to be true from what I've heard. Ooh, grasshopper just landed on me. I'll try and find it for you in a moment. Oh no! The end of the road! As to why that is, well, there's a chance that she is infertile. There's a chance that she just hasn't been very fortunate with her cub upbringing. Oh dear. How brave are you feeling this morning, Gert? Very. Very, that's a good answer. You and I have a mission. We got to get down here. Hold on, everybody. I think we can do it this way. Amazing what these little cars can get us through. I'm going to try, this could be a potential sticking point, just this little gully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it easy. Tax is with them now, so I wonder what lives in there. Sorry, distraction, something lives in there. Aardvark maybe. Okay, hold on. I think this is the only way we're going to get through. Hold on. Whee! And we're up. And we're out. And Quarry Bush, down you go. So for our, ouch, just fighting back. For our new viewers, just so you know, we're very, very careful, which is why you'll see us bob and weave around. We're very careful about the trees that we drive over. We only drive over certain species, and we drive over the young ones that will pop back up. So that Quarry Bush that I just went over, I checked behind me, it's sprung right back up, and it's absolutely fine. Right, where have you two gone? Whew. Right, so back to Amber Eyes. I don't know, it's peculiar, isn't it? Oh, hold on. It is odd if it is true that she has never had cubs, but she might also, bear in mind the mortality rate can be so high, she might just have had cubs at the most unfortunate times. During takeovers, for example, she might just have never been successful in raising them. I don't know what the reason is. Now, it's not just us out and about, but of course Byron is now up and he is out on foot. Let's go and see what he's up to.
Good morning.
Guys, I'm very sorry. Hold on 1 second. I need to talk to Rexon. Rex, I'm sorry. Please go again with that message. Sorry. Just bear with me. Copy that. Thank you very much, Rex. I'm on my way. Sorry, everybody. Brent, if you're closer, I'm happy for you to go. Otherwise, yes, I will. We're just about to hit Philemon's cut line now. We've crossed that drainage. Okay, copy, Brent. You go. You go. Sorry, everybody. Obviously, Byron didn't have any signal, and unfortunately, you crossed to me just as I really had a conversation that I had to have because Rexon has found another big cat for us. Hence the debate between the two of us, between Brent and myself, as to who should go there and who is closer. So we're about equidistant, but because I'm with the lions, we're going to send Brent across towards where Rexon is. Oh, and sorry, Rebecca, I turned you right down so I could hear. Sorry. Amber Eyes, where are we going? Okay, I'm just going to let Brent handle that. Figure out directions. Where are you going, my girl? She's missioning. Now she's leading us back towards the drainage system. I know, Kat, I know. Watch out. Now, Eileen, you wanted to know if it's possible that the Birmingham Birmingham boys have split into two separate coalitions because we haven't seen them together in a long time. And the answer is no, that's actually relatively common for a male coalition, particularly a relatively big coalition. So the Matimbas were often together, almost always. They might separate for a few days, but they always came back and rejoined. But with the Matimbas and with other large male lion coalitions, they often do that. Once they've established themselves and when they've got a big territory, it just makes sense for them to split themselves up. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly how they go about doing it. Nobody is. You know, is it tight bonds between males? Perhaps it seems likely that it's age-related, brothers that might split up, or is it just coincidental? Is it just a random turn of affairs? But it is. Morning, lions. Sorry about this. It is very common for this to happen, for this to occur within male coalitions. So no, I don't think they've split up at all. They will probably stay separate for most of the time. The only time the four of them might come back, might join up again. Every now and then they might join up, come back together. The last time all four of them. How's your view there, Gert? A little bit forward. There we go. The last time we saw all four of them at sort of separate times, they weren't all together, but they were in the same place, was when James was in the Mara. One of those first nights that he was in the Mara. The times that they will come together to show their full strong strength will be if another coalition starts to move into the area. So if there is a threat to their boundaries, then they will reunite once again. And you know, who knows what these lions get up to in the middle of the night? And that might sound like a weird thing to say, but a male lion can walk easily 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers in a night without even thinking about it. So they could be, and judging by the tracks, they do patrol regularly. They could be walking all the way to Cheetah Plains, having a little bit of a head rub, a nuzzle, a reunion, and then go off their separate ways again. So I don't think that they have split. There might be an additional level of conflict between the two and the two, especially over a female in estrus. But for now, they've each got a pride apiece, and they don't need to worry too much about mating rights, just with each other. Right. So while we settle down with these lions and wait to see what they get up to, let's try again with Byron so he can try and say good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone. Let's try that again. My name is Byron, and on camera with me this morning is VM, and then we have Herbert also joining us on the bushwalk. Now, we tried to show you, I'm not sure if you managed to see the hippo that was blocking our exit out of the camp on the other side. So there's still a hippo moving around feeding. It was still a much cooler morning than we're used to, so I think that's possibly why that hippo is out at the moment and just feeding, still busy grazing, trying to find some grass before it most likely leads back to some water and rests for the day, or a little mud wallow at the moment. There's not too much water around. So our plan for this morning is we're potentially going to try a different area where I haven't really walked yet, out towards Central, go a little bit further east and see what we can find, maybe some more birds, and then obviously the little creatures while we're out here. I've come up onto the clearings just outside camp, just having a look to see if there's any more sign of impala and impala births like we saw the other day. And at the moment it looks like they've all moved off of the clearings already. During the course of the evening, especially last night, it was quite dark, very overcast and windy. These clearings would have been full of those impala for safety. Usually what happens is because it's nice and open and clear, they're able to keep an eye out for any predators or potential predators, so it's easier for them to get away. So these areas are ideal. Now, because we had a lot of rain yesterday, or quite a bit of drizzle, I'm hoping that a lot of these little termite mounds and areas under trees and pushed over trees There's hopefully going to be a lot of activity from little insects and maybe other little creatures. So we're going to have a good look around here. I'm heading over towards a termite mound now. And Gail, you wanted to know, when will the marula fruit start ripening and being ready? So, Gail, there is some marula fruit around at the moment on some of the trees. Not a lot, however. Usually it's kind of middle to end of December where you really start seeing ripe marula fruit, and then going through into January and February. And then it's a great time of year because we can walk around, pick them up and eat them. Very rich in vitamin C, so it's a lovely little fruit to pick up when you are walking around, if the elephants haven't got there first. And we know the elephants love feeding on marula fruit. And I once counted an elephant dung pile, and they had over 200 little marula fruit within that single dung pile. Often what happens is the elephants feed on the marula fruit, but they don't even bite them. They literally just swallow some of them, and these fruits will pass out in the dung completely whole, and then you'll get other animals that come and feed on it, perhaps monkeys, baboons, bird species, and even some of the other smaller antelope perhaps come and pick around and feed on some of those marula fruits. Very, very interesting. I'm just having a look around this termite mound we've just got here, just wanting to see if I see any activity, fresh diggings perhaps from the aardvark that we know is around in this area, because we've seen tracks of aardvark before and we've seen fresh diggings, but for the moment it doesn't look like this area has been very active at all. No, I don't see any sign of fresh termite activity or any diggings around here. So I do think this little termite mound is potentially still active in certain areas, but it doesn't appear as if I can see a fresh hole anywhere, which is interesting. What we'll do is maybe just walk along and head to about 2 or 3 different termite mounds and just see if we can't find anything else wandering around. We did find, not too long ago, 2-3 days ago, we managed to find a little blind snake on a termite mound burrowing inside, which was very, very interesting. And these termite mounds provide wonderful homes for many different animals, not just the termites. But as you can see, completely closed and no activity at all from any little insects. Let's see here. The other thing is, usually you can tell if a termite mound is very active. You'll see a section of the termite mound that has been repaired or rebuilt, and that section will be, the soil will be a lot darker. I'll try and look for an active one for you this morning at some stage, but this does not look like it's been active for a while. There hasn't been fresh ground built up again and packed closed together. So this, I'm not sure, that it's possible that there are termites active deeper down, but nothing at the surface, no activity, and this has not been active for a while. You can tell the soil is really hard, and the coloration of the soil is very different to that of a very active termite mound. It's a beautiful morning for a bushwalk, nice and cool. It's a lovely cool breeze. The sun is coming out. I know Brent was chatting about it earlier, saying potentially it's going to be a very, very sunny day and warm up quite a bit. And I do think so. But it is still very cool, which is lovely. So perfect conditions for a bushwalk. Oh, there goes a big dung beetle. I was hoping it would sit down for us or land, but unfortunately it just flew off. Rather large dung beetle. Right, we're going to continue on our walk. We're going to head into that area that we were speaking about. Brent has something very exciting to show you.
Well, the Queen of Djuma being shouted at by monkeys. There you go, look at her. hunting through the bush. Hopefully she is successful this morning and brings the cubs back for a visit. Those ears up, alert. There could be something close by. She might have heard something, spotted something. Yeah, no, gonna continue on. Can you hear the monkey's alarm calling? Good morning, Karula. How are you this morning? Have you been behaving yourself? How are the children? Oh, she is looking a little hungry. Not too bad, though. Rex Tuck, she's about to come out into Leadwood and she's heading more north now. Come straight onto Leadwood. No, on Leadwood Road itself. Okay, she's crossing the road now. I think she's going to make her way towards a big termite mound over there, see if she can get some high ground. Let's try and get up ahead of her, see if she goes to that termite mound. Or is she going to change her mind just to trick us? Oh no, she's changed her mind, but this is, fortunately for us, a much nicer way to drive through. It's a little bit less thick. Okay, we're just trying to get up ahead of her so we can stop and watch her. Yeah. You okay? So she's moving through a particularly thick area, so we're just trying to get up ahead where it's a little bit more open. Watch your head, Chandra. We good? So the LBJ lovers out there, unfortunately, the poll has said Karula wins over the little brown jobs. And in this beautiful morning light, as it warms up, I'm just going to take my jacket off. It's getting quite hot all of a sudden. Must be the excitement of following a leopard through the bush. Here she is, she's coming straight towards us. I hope you guys are getting some great screenshots. Oh, tired. Long morning of hunting so far. Now, in a way, some of this new greenery is going to suit Karula as she hunts for duiker and steenbok, giving her a little bit more cover. And of course, if you're a baby impala, beware at the moment. Oh, what has she spotted? Look at that. Tails up. And off she continues. Okay, let me get my jacket off. Okay, let's go. Jacket off, ready to continue. Let's have a look. What's going to be our best route? That way. So what we're doing is we're looking for a line, and you can see there's a nice clear line through there where we can avoid the thicker bushes and bigger trees. Watch out, Andre. Now the trick is, when following a leopard off-road like this, especially when she's hunting, is not to stick right behind her. Now that might attract the attention if she does see something. So you try to stay off to the side. And so she's walking parallel to us. And okay, it is getting a little bit thicker up ahead. Monkey oranges, noisy, terrible, indestructible things. Hopefully she comes up to this termite mound here. She's running, she's just chased something. She's on that termite mound. I wonder what she saw. She just took off like a rocket. Let's get forward a bit. I wonder what she saw. Could have been a dwarf mongoose. Could have been a steenbokkie. But she just dashed up and then stopped on top of the termite mound. Maybe she was just feeling young and sprightly. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna... Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just off the car. I know she's there. Don't worry. I'm just fixing the fuel line. Yeah. Chandra, do you have a screwdriver in that box, or let me get my Leatherman? Okay, hang on. Sorry, guys. And she's going behind Rex in there. Bush mechanic. The fuel line just got caught there, but she's coming my side. Let me just tighten this quickly. Okay. Don't spot me, Karula. I'm sneaking back. It's a fuel line, I've put it back on. Oh joy, I get to smell like petrol for the rest of the safari. But we've got the fuel line back on so we can continue. Karula didn't even seem to notice. So what had happened is that the little tightening screw on the fuel line had come a bit loose, so that popped off. So that's why we always carry tools with us. That's why they call it a multi-purpose tool, isn't it? But Jandre is going to get to enjoy the smell of gasoline for the rest of the drive, and so my hands are covered in it. Okay, she's going into a particularly thick block. I'm going to think about how we're going to get through here. Are we going to follow Rexon and Taxon, or we're going to make our own way? Okay, while we get through here, let's go across to Byron on foot. Watch out, Andre.
Well, that's a wonderful sighting of Karula coming back this side. It's really incredible. We walk down. No, just a little track of something running across the road. Oh, and have a look. Just want to double check. Have you got us now? Are we good? And now have a look at this, everyone. Termites, active little termites. Wow, that is fascinating. So these are very different species of termites that we, compared to the ones we usually see in the big termite mounds. You can see these are different, but they do still have the little soldiers which are around here, and then some of the smaller little worker termites. Very, very interesting. You see how they, I think these are the harvested termites. I'm not entirely sure. There's a different species, and they, but you can see what they're doing is they're taking plant material down into the hole that they've dug or excavated. See, they don't really bring out too much of the soil out and build a termite mound, but it looks like they're taking all the food down in through the hole over there. Very, very interesting behavior. And as I was saying, you probably get a lot of activity from insects like this because the soil is a lot softer now after all the rain that we had. And generally the termites do start becoming a lot more active after rain. They do need the moisture too. Really interesting to see these little insects and how busy they are. Everybody has a role and they know exactly what they need to do, and all to support the colony. Very, very interesting. That's wonderful. So we're just out on the clearings close to Djuma Dam at the moment. We're going to be heading across down towards the drainage line behind me. I think we can start walking in that direction so long. Really nice to see those termites though. And look, you wanted to know, do we travel in different areas when we are walking, or do we stick to a certain area? To be honest, look, it all depends on little things, but generally we do try and head into different areas, and this morning we are going into an area that we haven't really walked in for quite some time, so across the drainage line and on the kind of the northeastern section, but it all depends. You know, the wonderful thing with the bushwalk is you can head in different areas, and each little path or each different section is very, very different. So we're going to try and cross through this thick drainage line at the moment. While we do that, let's head back to Brent, who's still with Karula.
There we go, the Queen of Djuma sitting regally on a termite mound. I hope you guys are getting some great screenshots. Look at that beautiful morning light on her. Isn't that spectacular? Well, she's definitely on the hunt at the moment. So she might rest up here for a little bit, but oh, there we go. As I say that, as I think she's going to carry on. She's going to go sneak behind Tax, just to remind him. There we go, behind Tax and Fan. Now behind us. Oh. Okay, now she's going into this block here between Mumba Road and Leadwood Road, and this is a very difficult spot to keep with a leopard, but we will do our utmost. Definitely one of her favorite hunting areas, and fortunately I know some sneaky, tricky secret spots to cross the impassable drainage lines. Okay. Oh, not again. This car sometimes decides to not like starting, but there we go, it started. Now she's coming up towards this little dry river system that runs between the two roads. Now there's always generally quite a few Inyala around here. There's a seep line on the other side where there's often impala. Have you still got sight of her? West. Oh dear. West is not a good direction. I got it. Now she's done this to me in this exact spot before. She goes down into this little dip and she walks through and then she comes out. Okay, we're gonna have to go through here. Holding on. Let's just see where she goes. She's in it's going to be a weird angle for you, but I just need to see where she goes from the thickets to plan our next maneuver. Hello, Karulski. Oh, she's dropping. Oops. Okay. And let me just get hold of taxi quickly. FM taxi, there's still Ninginyama and Ningimnis. Okay, so now this is where it gets a bit tricky because there is a way. I'm just trying to remember. So there's a very steep drop off here. So there she is. She's coming back towards us. So there we go. Good girl. You've chosen the easiest of the three options for us to follow you. Now she's using these little culverts or rain runoff areas to mask her approach. Now it's also an area where a duiker might hide its baby. So she's just checking under the little log falls. Okay, now she's going to go down in. Oh no, she's going to have a scent mark first. Oh, making sure that if any other female leopard comes into this area, they know that this is her territory. Okay, Jandre, how brave are you feeling? Because now it's time to do some technical driving. I'm excited. And fortunately, as I said, I know some secret spots around here. We've had Karula sightings in this area quite often before, and it is sometimes a bit of a challenge to keep up with her. Jandre, just keep an eye on her for me while I try find a way down this bank. Can you still see her? No, two of you lost sight. Oh, Jandre, you failed in your one job I give you. I mean, forget all the camera operating. I just told you to watch the leopard. Okay, we're going to have to go around to get down there. Okay, so we're going to try get down into that drainage. And while we do that, let's go see what's happening with the lions.
Well, this morning our big cats are leading us all over the show, but luckily your timing is perfect because we're going to have a really, really beautiful view in a second. Just have a look at this. And stop here for now just to give you an idea of just how stunning this moment is now. We're going to be leaving these lines, I think, in the not too distant future. I've heard a report coming through from Cheetah Plains, so I might be ducking off in that direction in the not too distant future. But for now, we have this incredible view of the lions in the golden sunlight. She's sought refuge on top of a termite mound, shame girl. Now, apparently, I've just heard that somewhere to the west of us, so probably either on Arathusa or Simbambili, which are two of the properties to the west of us, the Nkuhumas have killed something. They have a kill. I don't know what it is. It's probably a buffalo. Just statistically, in terms of the Nkuhumas, and that's where she's trying to go. She's just constantly pushing west until he stops her, at which point she lies down. And then she carries on again. As soon as he starts to really settle, she continues to move. But he's just blocking her at the moment. Amber Eyes, the one thing I must say that I'm so thrilled, this is the first time I've properly seen Amber Eyes moving in quite a long time. And I must say I'm absolutely thrilled to see how much better she's looking. There was one moment a couple of days ago where I was particularly concerned about her and the other lioness, just in terms of their ability to walk and the way in which they were struggling. Their back legs were floppy. The males have been absolutely fine. Mfumo has been totally strong since his face healed up, but Amber Eyes was not. And it's really wonderful to see that whatever they ate obviously did them the world of good. One of those buffalo clearly had what they needed and what they were missing from their diet, because she's back up and walking perfectly, which is very, very good to see. Hey Amber, you okay again, my girl? Yes. I don't think she's going to stop moving until the time comes that she reaches the rest of the pride. And she will continue to try and push him in that direction. Sometimes lionesses are not successful in getting back to their pride until they've finished their estrus cycle or their mating with the males. But sometimes they are. And then what will happen is she'll try and go and greet the rest of the pride. He'll keep blocking her. Sometimes there's a little bit of a skirmish or a fight between the members of the pride and the male. And they get frustrated with him. He gets frustrated with them. He's very protective over the female that he's with. And as I said earlier this morning on the Sunrise Safari, to the point that he might even attack one of the females for getting too close. But hopefully it is a peaceful reunion, and it just progresses in the way that it always has done. Right, now that we've had a chance to get the view, let's go a little bit closer. We've been through some interesting vegetation, and it's been a while since I've been as relieved as I am that Wendy's tyres are new. Otherwise we might be hopping off and changing a tyre, but I think we're going to make it through just fine. It was sicklebush country. Sicklebush is a type of tree with a very solid thorn. It's actually not a thorn, it's called a spine, because it's a modified branch and therefore is much more solid than a thorn. And it can be a flat tyre central moving through an area like this, but I think we've been successful. Hello, my girl. And you too, boy, but mainly Amber Eyes, because I'm relieved to see that she's okay. Happy? Awesome. Hey, gorgeous. You're looking very regal on the top of your termite mound there. Now, Beck, on the subject of our very glamorous lioness, she looks like she's all set up for a photo shoot, the way that she's lying. You want to know if Amber Eyes is the oldest of the lionesses? She's not. There is one other lioness that is older than Amber Eyes, and that is, from what we understand, I mean, as I said, I haven't been here, so I can't speak from first-hand experience, but they are all the daughters or the relatives of the one oldest female of the Nkuhumas. She is, if you've been watching, I don't know how long you've been watching for, Beck, and I must say a very warm welcome. Beck, if you've been watching over the last few weeks, the oldest female has a broken tipped canine. She's missing the tip of one of her canines. She's got a very dark black nose, and she is the mother of the middle set of cubs. She is the oldest of the lionesses in the Nkuhuma pride, and quite a relatively easily recognizable one. We have followed the progress. So the Nkuhuma pride as it stands consists of that oldest female, Amber Eyes, two youngish females that are probably sisters with the dotty noses. They are the other two mothers of the current set of cubs. And then one young lioness that has only just reached sexual maturity now. So she's only recently in the last few months started to mate. Now that's the Nkuhuma pride. Plus, of course, there's 6 surviving cubs. He's snoozing away quite happily, not concerned about moving anywhere. He's just biding his time until she's ready. And they could be like this for quite a while now. It's not too hot though this morning. And we'll just have to wait and see whether or not they decide to keep moving. She's definitely trying to get to the rest of the pride. And it's amazing how they always know exactly where they are, or at least where the others are, in terms of their movements. She knows where the rest... They must have been roaring, and we just weren't quite able to hear it from where we were.